The Mount Rushmore National Memorial is a national memorial centered on a colossal sculpture carved into the granite face of Mount Rushmore in the Black Hills near Keystone, South Dakota, United States. The sculptor, Gutzon Borglum, named it the Shrine of Democracy and oversaw the execution from 1927 to 1941 with the help of his son, Lincoln Borglum. The sculpture features 60-foot-tall depictions of the heads of 4 United States presidents: George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, respectively chosen to represent the nation's foundation, expansion, development, and preservation. Mount Rushmore attracts more than 2 million visitors annually to the memorial park, which covers 1,278 acres. The mountain's elevation is 5,125 feet. Borglum chose Mount Rushmore in part because it faces southeast for maximum sun exposure. The carving was the idea of Doane Robinson, South Dakota's state historian. Robinson originally wanted the sculpture to feature American West heroes, such as Lewis and Clark, their expedition guide Sacagawea, Oglala Lakota Chief Red Cloud, Buffalo Bill Cody, and Oglala Lakota Chief Crazy Horse. Borglum, arguing that the sculpture should be national in scope rather than regional, convinced them to choose the 4 presidents instead. Peter Norbeck, U.S. Senator from South Dakota, sponsored the project and secured federal funding. Construction began in 1927, and the presidents' faces were completed between 1934 and 1939. After Gutzon Borglum died in March 1941, his son Lincoln took over as leader of the construction project. Each president was originally to be depicted from head to waist, but lack of funding forced construction to end on October 31, 1941, and only Washington's sculpture includes any detail below chin level. The sculpture at Mount Rushmore was built on land that was taken from the Sioux Nation in the 1870s. The Sioux continued to demand return of the land, and in 1980 the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in United States versus Sioux Nation of Indians that the taking of the Black Hills required just compensation and awarded the tribe $102 million. The Sioux have refused the money and demand the return of the land. This conflict continues, leading some critics of the monument to refer to it as a shrine of hypocrisy. Mount Rushmore and the surrounding Black Hills, Pahasapa, are considered sacred by Plains Indians such as the Arapaho, Cheyenne, and Lakota Sioux, who used the area for centuries as a place to pray and gather food, building materials, and medicine. The Lakota called the mountain 6 grandfathers, Tunkashila Shakpe, symbolizing ancestral deities personified as the 6 directions: north, south, east, west, above, sky, and below, earth. In the latter half of the 19th century, expansion by the United States into the Black Hills led to the Sioux Wars. In the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, the U.S. government granted exclusive use of all of the Black Hills, including 6 grandfathers, to the Sioux in perpetuity. 6 grandfathers was a significant part of the spiritual journey taken in the early 1870s by Lakota leader Black Elk, Hehaka Sapa, also known as the 6th grandfather, that culminated at the nearby Black Elk Peak, Hinghang Kaga, making of owls. U.S. General George Armstrong Custer summited Black Elk Peak a few years later in 1874 during the Black Hills Expedition, which triggered the Black Hills Gold Rush and Great Sioux War of 1876. In 1877, the U.S. broke the Treaty of Fort Laramie and asserted control over the area, leading to an influx of settlers and prospectors. Among those prospectors was New York mining promoter James Wilson, who organized the Harney Peak Tin Company and hired New York attorney Charles E. Rushmore to visit the Black Hills and confirm the company's land claims. Rushmore visited the area on 3 or 4 trips over the span of 1884 and 1885. During one of these visits, Rushmore was traveling near the base of the peak and, impressed with it, asked his guide, Bill Chalice, the mountain's name. Chalice replied that the mountain did not have a name, but that it would henceforth be named after Rushmore. The name Mount Rushmore continued to be used locally and was officially recognized by the United States Board of Geographic Names in June 1930.
The Crazy Horse Memorial is a mountain monument under construction on privately held land in the Black Hills in Custer County, South Dakota, United States. It will depict the Oglala Lakota warrior Crazy Horse, riding a horse and pointing to his tribal land. The memorial was commissioned by Henry Standing Bear, a Lakota elder, to be sculpted by Korjak Zielkowski. It is operated by the Crazy Horse Memorial Foundation, a non-profit organization. The monument has been in progress since 1948 and is far from completion. The memorial master plan includes the Mountain Carving Monument, a Native American Museum of North America, and a Native American Cultural Center. The monument is being carved out of Thunderhead Mountain on land considered sacred by some Oglala Lakota between Custer and Hill City, roughly 17 miles from Mount Rushmore. Crazy Horse was an Oglala Lakota war leader. He took up arms against the U.S. federal government to fight against encroachments on the territories and way of life of the Lakota people. His most famous actions against the U.S. military included the Fetterman Fight, 21st December 1866, and the Battle of the Little Bighorn, 25 after 26 June 1876. He surrendered to U.S. troops under General George Crook in May 1877 and was fatally wounded by a military guard, allegedly while resisting imprisonment at Camp Robinson in present-day Nebraska. He ranks among the most notable and iconic of Native American tribal members and was honored by the U.S. Postal Service in 1982 with a 13 Sikyas postage stamp that is part of its Great American series. At the time, construction started in 1948. Zielkowski estimated the work would be complete in 30 years. As of 2022, there was no timeline for when the monument would be completed. However, the hand, arm, shoulder, hairline, and top of the horse's head were estimated to be finished by 2037. The memorial is to be the centerpiece of an educational, cultural center to include a satellite campus of the University of South Dakota with a classroom building and residence hall, made possible by a $2.5 million donation in 2007 from T. Denny Sanford, a philanthropist from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It is called the Indian University of North America and the Indian Museum of North America. The current visitor complex will anchor the center.
Deadwood is a city that serves as the county seat of Lawrence County, South Dakota, United States. It was named by early settlers after the dead trees found in its gulch. The city had its heyday from 1876 to 1879, after gold deposits had been discovered there, leading to the Black Hills Gold Rush. At its height, the city had a population of 25,000, attracting Old West figures such as Wyatt Earp, Calamity Jane, Seth Bullock, and Wild Bill Hickok, who was killed there. The entire town has been designated as a National Historic Landmark District for its well-preserved Gold Rush-era architecture. The town has 5 unique history museums that are operated by Deadwood History, a non-profit organization. Deadwood's proximity to Lead often prompts the two towns being collectively named Lead Dead. The settlement of Deadwood began illegally in the 1870s on land which had been granted to the Lakota people in the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie. The treaty had guaranteed ownership of the Black Hills to the Lakota people, who who consider this area to be sacred. The settlers' squatting led to numerous land disputes, several of which reached the United States Supreme Court. Everything changed after Lieutenant Colonel George Armstrong Custer was ordered to lead an expedition into the Black Hills and announce the discovery of gold in 1874 on French Creek near present-day Custer, South Dakota. This announcement was a catalyst for the Black Hills gold rush, and miners and entrepreneurs swept into the area. They created the new and lawless town of Deadwood, which quickly reached a population of approximately 5,000. By 1877, about 12,000 people settled in Deadwood, while other sources put the peak number even at 25,000 in 1876. About that time, a movie company came to a small town nearby to film an 1880-era movie. A Main Street set was constructed from old buildings, and a number of Indian relics and antiques were borrowed from Clarence Hullinger, Richard's father. Winter set in, and the filming was abandoned. The movie company returned home, giving the Main Street set to Clarence for the use of his artifacts. The movie set was moved to the 80 acres, and the 1880 town was born. Along with the beginning of the 1880 town, began years of collecting what is now an authentic 1880 to 1920 era town, from buildings to contents. Clarence and Richard have kept historical value on an equal balance with public appeal, choosing buildings that not only interesting to look at, but are also historically correct for an early South Dakota town. The displays and buildings range from Indian relics from the 1970s to the 14-sided barn built in 1919. Drugstore, often called simply Wall Drug, is a roadside attraction and tourist stop located in the town of Wall, South Dakota, United States, adjacent to Badlands National Park. Wall Drug consists of a collection of cowboy-themed stores, including a drugstore, gift shop, several restaurants, and various other stores, as well as an art gallery and an 80-foot brontosaurus sculpture. Unlike a traditional shopping mall, all the stores at Wall Drug operate under a single entity rather than being run individually. The New York Times has described Wall Drug as a sprawling tourist attraction of international renown, draws some 2 million annual visitors to a remote town. The small-town drugstore made its first step towards fame when it was purchased by Ted Husted in 1931. Husted was a Nebraska native and pharmacist who was looking for a small town with a Catholic church in which to establish his business. He bought Wall Drug, located in a 231-person town in what he referred to as the middle of nowhere, and strove to make a living. Business was very slow until his wife, Dorothy, thought of advertising free ice water to thirsty travelers heading to the newly opened Mount Rushmore Monument, 60 miles to the west. From that time on, business was brisk. Ted's son, Bill Husted, also a pharmacist, returned to Wall and joined the family business in 1951. Under his direction, Wall Drug grew into a cowboy-themed mall and department store. In addition, he created the Art Gallery Cafe, with a design inspired by Club 21 in New York City, one of his favorite restaurants. In addition, Wall Drug includes a Western art museum, a chapel based on the one found at New Melleray Abbey near Dubuque, Iowa, another Bill Husted creation, and an 80-foot 24M brontosaurus that can be seen right off Interstate 90. It was designed by Emmett Sullivan, who also created the dinosaurs at Dinosaur Park in Rapid City and Dinosaur World in Arkansas. Bill Husted had 7 children, and his oldest child, Rick Husted, is the current proprietor of Wall Drug Store. Badlands National Park is a national park of the United States in southwestern South Dakota. The park protects 242,756 acres of sharply eroded buttes and pinnacles, along with the largest undisturbed mixed-grass prairie in the United States. The National Park Service manages the park, with the South Unit being co-managed with the Oglala Lakota tribe. Located within the White River drainage, the Badlands Wilderness protects 64,144 acres of the park's North Unit as a designated wilderness area, and is one site where the black-footed ferret, one of the most endangered mammals in the world, was reintroduced to the wild. The South Unit, or Stronghold District, includes sites of 1890s ghost dances, a former United States Air Force bomb and gunnery range, and Red Shirt Table, the park's highest point at 3,340 feet. Authorized as Badlands National Monument on March 4, 1929, it was not established until January 25, 1939. Badlands was redesignated a national park on November 10, 1978. Under the Mission 66 plan, the Ben Rifle Visitor Center was constructed for the monument in 1957-58. The park also administers the nearby Minuteman Missile National Historic Site. The movies Dances with Wolves and Thunderheart were partially filmed in Badlands National Park. This national park was originally a reservation of the Oglala Sioux Indians and spans the southern unit of the park. The area around Stronghold Table was originally Sioux territory and is revered as a ceremonial sacred site rather than a place to live. In 1868, at the Second Treaty of Fort Laramie, the United States assured the Sioux that the Badlands shall forever be the property of the Sioux. In 1889, however, the treaty was broken and the Badlands were confiscated by the United States.